Welcome, friends, gathered in the sanctuary on Zoom and later on our YouTube channel. It is so good to be together. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Franklin, to the Smoky Mountains of Western North Carolina and Northeast Georgia, and the ancestral home of the Cherokee people. We're a lay-led congregation of progressive minds and caring connections for 54 years. My name is Mary Tislow, and I'm pleased to be your service leader this morning. We extend a warm welcome to those who may be visiting with us today for the first time or returning after a while. We're so glad you're with us and look forward to getting to know you better. There'll be an opportunity to introduce yourself later in the service, and you can sign up for our newsletter in the guest book in the foyer or by adding your information in the chat on Zoom. As we gather each Sunday, we take a moment to greet each other on Zoom and here in the sanctuary, affectionately the Zoomies and the Roomies. Roomies, please rise in body or spirit for our wave hello and stay standing for our gathering song, hymn number 123 in our gray hymnal. Turn and wave, turn to your right and wave, absolutely. And they'll wave back. Look how many there are. We'll wave back to us. Yay. Yeah. Ooh. This simple act of connection reminds us that despite our distance, we're all part of one loving community. Our fellowship is a light for liberal religion in the mountains that values diversity and the richness it brings to our community. Our celebration of diversity is reflected in the variety of our Sunday services, in addition to different topics and service sequence and length may vary. One of the shared values among Unitarian Universalists is interdependence, honoring the interdependent web of all existence. We'll explore examples from geology that invite us to reflect on the wonders of the natural world and our place within it. We hope today's service enriches your journey of discovery. Our story for all ages this morning is Everybody Needs a Rock, read by Patty Rogers, a minister with the United Church of Canada. And now our story for all ages.
A few years ago, I was visiting the museum at the Northern Arizona University at Flagstaff, Arizona, where there is an amazing exhibit of art and cultural pieces of the Colorado Plateau tribes. The Apache, the Dene or Navajo, Havasupai, Hopi, Hulape, Southern Paiute, Ute, and Yavapai and Zuni people. In the gift store, I found this book by Bird Baylor, an American author of children's stories who lived in the Sonoran Desert in a solar-powered adobe home. All her stories express her love of the land, and she died last June at the age of 97. I love this story because as you come into my house, you will find a bowl full of rocks that I have collected from every place in the world that I have been. Each one represents for me the grounding I received from God when I set foot in God's land, God's creation, and each is a gift of the Spirit. I hope that you find this story to be a gift as well. This story is called Everybody Needs a Rock by Bird Baylor. Everybody Needs a Rock by Bird Baylor. Everybody needs a rock. I'm sorry for kids who don't have a rock for a friend. I'm sorry for kids who only have tricycles and bicycles and horses and elephants and goldfish, 3-room playhouses, fire engines, wind-up dragons, and things like that, if they don't have a rock for a friend. That's why I'm giving them my own 10 rules for finding a rock. Not just any rock, I mean a special rock that you find yourself and keep as long as you can. Maybe forever. If somebody says, "What's so special about that rock?" I don't even tell them. I don't. Nobody is supposed to know what's special about another person's rock. All right, here are the rules. Rule number 1. If you can, go to a mountain made out of nothing but 100 million small, shiny, beautiful, roundish rocks. But if you can't, any place will do, even an alley, even a sandy road. Rule number 2. When you are looking at rocks, don't let mothers or fathers or sisters or brothers or even best friends talk to you. You should choose a rock when everything is quiet. Don't let dogs bark at you or bees buzz at you, but if they do, don't worry. The worst thing you can do is go rock hunting when you are worried. Rule number 3. Bend over. More. Even more. You may have to sit on the ground with your head almost touching the earth. You have to look at a rock right in the eye. Otherwise, don't blame me if you can't find a good one. Rule number 4. Don't get a rock that is too big. You'll always be sorry. It won't fit your hand right, and it won't fit in your pocket. A rock as big as an apple is too big. A rock as big as a horse is much too big. Rule number 5. Don't choose a rock that's too small. It will only be easy to lose, or a mouse might eat it thinking that it is a seed. Believe me, that happened to a boy in the state of Arizona. Rule number 6. The size must be perfect. It has to fit easy in your hand when you close your fingers over it. It has to feel jumpy in your pocket when you run. Some people touch a rock 1,000 times a day. There aren't many things that feel as good as a rock if the rock is perfect. Rule number 7. Look for the perfect color. That could be a sort of pinkish gray with bits of silvery shine in it. Some rocks that look brown are really other colors, but you only see them when you squint and when the sun is just right. Another way to see colors is to dip your rock in a clear mountain stream, if one is passing by. Rule number 8. The shape of the rock is up to you. There's a girl in Alaska who only likes flat rocks. Don't ask me why. I like them lumpy. The thing to remember about shapes is this. Any rock looks good with 100 other rocks around it on a hill. But if your rock is going to be special, it should look good by itself in the bathtub. Rule number 9. Always sniff a rock. Rocks have their own smells. Some kids can tell by sniffing whether a rock came from the middle of the earth or from an ocean or from a mountain where wind and sun touched it every day for 1,000,000 years. You'll find out that grown-ups can't tell these things. Too bad for them. They just can't smell as well as kids can. Don't ask anybody to help you choose. I've seen a lizard pick one rock out of a desert full of rocks and go sit there alone. I've seen a snail pass up 20 rocks and spend all day getting to the one it wanted. You have to make up your own mind. You'll know. All right, there's 10 rules. If you think of any more, write them down yourself. I'm going out to play a game that takes me, just me, and one rock to play. I happen to have a rock right here in my hand. The end.
Just as every person belongs in our community, every rock belongs in Earth's story, and we're all part of that story, too. Our chalice lighting this morning. Today we light this chalice, symbol of our faith and our search for truth. May its flame remind us that we are part of a story far older than ourselves, a story written in stone, carved by wind and water, shaped by fire and time. May we approach that story with curiosity, gratitude, and wonder. Our opening hymn this morning is number 21 in the Gray Hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. We're delighted to welcome this morning our own Claire Davis. Claire has been a member of UUFF since 2025. She earned degrees in geology from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga and the University of Wyoming. After bouncing around the country teaching geology and math, in 2022, Claire and her husband moved to Franklin to be closer to family. She works remotely as a math instructor and enjoys cooking, crafting, and wrangling her dog and cats. Please join me in welcoming Claire as she shares life lessons from geology.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm very happy to be here today to share a few things about geology, and it's a little intimidating on this side of the microphone, but I'm just going to pretend you all are my students today, and that makes it feel more normal for me. So for a little bit of context, I received my bachelor's degree in geology from UTC over in Chattanooga, which is where I grew up. And our geology classes would actually make frequent field trips over to this side of the mountains. We even visited Franklin on one of those field trips about 20 years ago. Wow. We stopped at Winding Stair Gap. Do you all know where that is on Highway 64? Between here and Hayesville. And you'll recognize it if you don't know what it is, the big dark rocks, the road cut, and it's right where the radio cuts out and you lose your cell phone signal. That's how I always know I'm there. So from the road, that road cut looks like just a nondescript dark rock. But if you get up close with a hand lens, which we did on that field trip all those years ago, you'll discover that the rock is actually full of thousands of dark red garnet crystals. Thousands of them. So of course I had to take a piece home with me. Like any good geology student, I had a growing collection of rocks from all the field trips that I was going on, and I found a perfectly sized chunk of the rock that was sitting at the base of the cliff. And that rock made me really happy because all those little crystals of garnet reminded me of the magic that's around us everywhere if we take the time to notice it. As I learned more about geology and later taught geology classes of my own, there were many other opportunities to marvel at the wonderful little details of the world. And these details have helped shape my own sense of how I exist in the world. So today I thought I would share a few of these life lessons that I picked up along the way. So the lessons are: perfection is a myth. Change is inevitable. And we are a blip. So let's start with lesson number 1, perfection is a myth. One of the first classes taken by geology students is mineralogy, where you learn how to identify different minerals and you learn all their different chemical properties. So every mineral has a very specific arrangement of atoms. And it's kind of like a 3D puzzle. It's called the crystal lattice, and it's how all the atoms are arranged. And it's different for every mineral, but there's usually a very regular geometric arrangement if you can zoom all the way in. So let's learn just a little bit of mineralogy today. We're going to look at quartz. This is the only sample I brought today. I decided not to just overwhelm you with rocks, although I could have. So this is a quartz crystal. You've probably seen these before. Quartz is very abundant. It's what most sand is made out of. You see it in the rocks around here a lot. It's often what that white inclusion is in some of the rocks here. And when it has enough room to grow, it makes these really pretty, clear, prism-shaped crystals. Quartz is made of silicon dioxide, so that means 1 atom of silicon for every 2 atoms of oxygen. And if you could zoom in and look at the crystal lattice at the atomic level, how all of those are linked together, there are naturally little imperfections. For example, maybe a silicon atom is missing from one molecule, so it just has to skip over a little gap, and it's okay. Or sometimes the angle in between 2 different atoms is a little bit off from what the ideal is. And when that happens, it kind of propagates that error, and it causes the next atom to be a little off kilter and so on. And it usually figures itself out eventually. I think of it as, you know, when you're eating corn on the cob and you see a nice row of corn kernels, but then one of them is offset, and then the next one is offset, and then even on the next row, you might see a little place where, you know, and it figures itself out eventually. So the same thing happens in crystals, naturally. So the thing that I learned about quartz that really blew my mind when I was a student is that in 1 cubic centimeter of quartz, so much smaller than this piece here, 1 cubic centimeter of quartz, if you were able to add up the displacement in the atoms, so all of the little errors from where those atoms should be, the tiny displacements would add up to many miles of displacement, miles, in much smaller than this piece here. And yet, it is still quartz. It still forms a beautiful prism-shaped crystal. The imperfections are natural and they're totally fine. This realization that there's no perfect crystal lattice, it feels like a relief. Thank goodness it isn't perfect. Thank goodness quartz has this wiggle room in its crystal lattice. It helps us remember that we have wiggle room. We don't have to be perfect. We can have miles of imperfections and still be perfectly good enough creatures. What a relief. Lesson number 2, change is inevitable and magical. So we've talked a little bit about minerals. Now let's talk about rocks. There are 3 types of rocks. You might remember this from school. There's sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. We live in mountains made of metamorphic rocks. The word metamorphic comes from the Greek words meta, which means change, and morph, which means shape. So metamorphic rocks are ones that have changed their shape. They started out as some other kind of rock, and then with heat and pressure from being buried away thousands of feet underground, they changed significantly. When I was taught about metamorphism, the word the professor used was magic. It is a magical process. When rocks are buried deep enough underground, the molecules can rearrange themselves to form new minerals that weren't present in the original rock. The building blocks for all those minerals were there, but they can magically rearrange themselves and grow new crystals that weren't present in the original rock. This process is similar to how butterflies form in a cocoon, a process, of course, called metamorphosis. When a caterpillar closes itself up in its cocoon, parts of its body actually dissolve and reform into a new shape. It's a new creature made from the same building blocks. In metamorphic rocks, the minerals have all rearranged and reformed themselves to form some really pretty gemstones. So here's a few examples of metamorphic minerals, and these are only made naturally by metamorphism. Garnets, rubies, sapphires, and many other gemstones are made from this high heat and pressure. The reason why we have so many of these gemstones here and why we have so many gem mines is because of the metamorphism that formed the Appalachian Mountains hundreds of millions of years ago. Have you all ever noticed how the gravel here is kind of sparkly? Especially right after it rains, if the sun comes out, you can see in the parking lot or in your driveway that it's kind of glittery. Where I come from in Chattanooga, we have very boring gravel. It is dull gray limestone, nothing special. But here it is sparkly and it is beautiful. The sparkly bits are from a mineral called mica, which is a platy flaky, metallic-looking mineral, and it's one of the metamorphic minerals. So the reason why our gravel here has mica in it is because of the metamorphism that happened when the Appalachian Mountains were made. That's why we have such pretty gravel. So what's the lesson here? The process of change may be difficult. We may not enjoy the process, but the results can be beautiful. Think of all the most significant events that have happened in your life. Not all of them are pleasant, but they changed you in some way, and they have shaped and reshaped you into the person you are now. Metamorphism is magical. Lesson number 3, we are a blip. One of the hardest concepts for me to wrap my head around, and when I was teaching geology, it was hard to help students understand this, and it's still hard for me to understand, is the immense scale of geologic time. Our brains are just not designed to comprehend the magnitude of geologic time, but we know the Earth is really, really old. It's 4.5 billion years old or so. How do you even put that in perspective? Okay, so let's think about the sparkly gravel here. The rocks around here are, give or take, about 400 million years old. So pretty old rocks. But when those rocks were formed 400 million years ago, the Earth had already been here for 4 billion years. So by that measure, these are little baby rocks. How can we comprehend these lengths of time? And where do we as humans fit into this time scale? The scientist and author Carl Sagan was very skilled at presenting scientific concepts for a general audience, and he used a model called the cosmic calendar. Did anyone ever watch the show Cosmos back in the day? It's a great show. One of the episodes is about the cosmic calendar. I recommend it. The cosmic calendar is a way to help us wrap our heads around the vast time scales in geologic time and in cosmic time. So here's how the cosmic calendar works. It begins with the Big Bang, the formation of our universe, which we think happened over 13 billion years ago. And that corresponds to January 1st on the calendar. And then the present day, today, is the very last moment of December 31st. So in this model, we're compressing all of history into one calendar year. Okay? So Big Bang is January 1st. Earth forms on September 9th. That's pretty far along into the year. So our planet isn't even an old planet by cosmic standards. So September 9th is when the Earth forms. What about life? Well, the first single-celled, simple life forms we think happened around September 14th. But it takes a really, really long time for large, complex life forms to emerge on Earth. Dinosaurs don't come along until December 25th. Merry Christmas. We're almost at the end of the year. So what about us? What about humans? We, humans, Homo sapiens, arrive on December 31st at 11:52 p.m. There's 8 minutes left in the cosmic calendar. In those final 8 minutes of this cosmic year, all of human history occurs. All of our advancements, innovations, every war, every bit of human history, the agricultural revolution, which was thousands of years ago, happens in the final 30 seconds. And what we consider modern history, so everything in the last 400 years or so, occurs in the final second of the cosmic calendar. That's it. If the universe has been here for a year, we have just shown up in the final seconds. We are a blip. Some people think about this and feel a little bit uneasy, as if this is evidence that we don't matter or we're insignificant. Personally, I'm a little bit of an introvert and I take some comfort in insignificance. But I also take comfort in knowing that this is all just a minuscule fraction of the whole. And I feel so overwhelmingly lucky that we are here witnessing a blink of time, just a flash of the history of the world and the universe. And there's so much more history to unfold after we're gone. I mean, after you and I are gone, and not after humans are gone, because we will be gone someday. And there will be new things on the cosmic calendar. And that's okay. Carl Sagan said, "We are like butterflies who flutter for a day and think it is forever." Now let's wrap this up. Let's revisit that large chunk of Winding Stair Gap that I rehomed from the mountain many years ago. Maybe now you understand why I coveted that rock so much. It's full of metamorphic garnet crystals. It's been thousands of feet underground. It's changed form and reemerged over hundreds of millions of years, and now it's at the top of a mountain. It's a cool rock. Every rock's a cool rock, though. I lugged that rock back and forth across the continent for over a decade, from Tennessee to Wyoming and back to Tennessee and to California. And then a few years ago, when we decided to move to Franklin, I had to decide what to take and what to leave behind, and a lot of my rocks did not make the cut. By then, I was not teaching geology anymore. I was teaching math. And I decided to leave my piece of Winding Stair Gap in the backyard of our rented duplex in Davis, California. And as far as I know, it's still there, because I know who still lives there. It's our old cat sitter. I knew that I was moving here, right down the road from where that rock came from. And I get to see that rock every time I drive over the mountain to see my dad and Murphy. The lessons that I've learned from studying our planet have stayed with me. They continue to shape my understanding of my place in the world. I hope that some of what I've shared today adds to your sense of wonder when you go out and experience these mountains that we're very lucky to call home. And if nothing else, remember that even our gravel is a little bit magical. Thank you.
Oh, Claire, what a sparkling, magical gift that message was. Yay! We are so fortunate to have you with us in so many ways. The Earth story is vast. Each of us belongs within it, even just at that last second. Let us carry that sense of connection into the rest of our time together. As we prepare for our time for joys and concerns, please know that they'll be edited out before being posted on YouTube. As a lay-led congregation, we appreciate our volunteers, including our Sunday service team, Ben, Edgar, Diane, Warren with Penny on Zoom today, Jude for our music, Claire for our YouTube channel, Bill as our greeter, Dana, Karen, Jeff, Charisma and Harmony for hospitality. We're also grateful for all the diverse gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Some of that generosity is for Zoom, which helps us stay connected for services, meetings, and gatherings like Connect Up. All financial donations are appreciated in person, by mail, or on PayPal. We acknowledge together, please join with me, gifts given in love and hope continue a cycle of love and hope. And now announcements, both community and fellowship announcements. Zoom first, as sanctuary folks line up by the piano. A last final pebble, may we remember that our stories, like the Earth stories, are woven together. I now invite you into a minute of silence. You can choose to meditate, pray, reflect on something you've heard here today, or simply sit silently in community with others. I'll bring you back with the chimes. Our closing words. May we remember that great changes often happen slowly, that strength can be found in adaptability, and that nothing exists alone. Like rivers, forests, mountains, and stars, we are part of a vast and beautiful web of interdependence. Our closing hymn is number 1064 in the Teal hymnal, Blue Boat Home. Our chalice extinguishing. As we extinguish this flame, may we carry its light into the week ahead. May we remember that we are part of an ancient and ongoing story, formed by the same elements as mountains, nourished by the same waters that shaped valleys, and connected to all who have come before and all who will come after. Though this flame goes out, may the wonder remain. Thank you for joining us today. We know that you have many options on how to spend your Sunday morning, and we're deeply grateful that you chose to be in community with us. Following service, we invite the Zoomies to join in conversation and the Roomies to enjoy coffee and conversation in Celebration Hall. Visitors, some of our more extroverted members and friends will use red cups so you can easily find those who love to chat. Next Sunday, we welcome back Reverend Kate Grayson with a sermon titled, Looking at Life Through a Cloudy Lens. Please rise in body or spirit. Those in the sanctuary may choose to hold hand and create a wonderful galaxy-like shape of some kind. Harmony, come be with us. Yeah. Wonderful. That's great. Now we'll join together in spirit as we recite our closing covenant. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and community is its goal. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Let's wave goodbye to the Zoomies by turning to your right, and they will wave back to us. Yay, hooray. Go in peace, the service has ended.